So you mentioned Spinoza. Got to ask the ridiculously big question about life. What do you think is the meaning of this whole thing? Why are we humans here? You've already mentioned that perhaps the universe created us.
Mm-hmm.
Is that why you think we're here? to understand how the universe works?
I think my answer to that would be, and at least the life I'm living, is to gain and understand the knowledge, to gain knowledge and understand the universe. That's what I think. I can't see any higher purpose than that. If you think back to the classical Greeks, the virtue of gaining knowledge, I think it's one of the few true virtues, is to understand the world around us and the context and humanity better. And I think if you do that, you become more compassionate and more understanding yourself and more tolerant, and I think all these other things may flow from that. And to me, understanding the nature of reality, that is the biggest question. What is going on here is sometimes the colloquial way I say, what is really going on here? It's so mysterious. I feel like we're in some huge puzzle, but the world the universe seems to be structured in a way, why is it structured in a way that science is even possible? That, the scientific method works, things are repeatable. Mm-hmm. It feels like it's almost structured in a way to be conducive to gaining knowledge. So I feel like, and why should computers be even possible? Isn't that amazing that computational or electronic devices can be possible, and they're made of sand, our most common element that we have, silicon on the Earth's crust. They could have been made of diamond or something. Then we would have only had one computer, right? So it's a lot of things are kind of slightly suspicious to me.
It sure as heck sounds this puzzle sure as heck sounds like something we talked about earlier. What it takes to design a game that's really fun to play for prolonged periods of time. And it does seem like this puzzle, like you mentioned, the more you learn about it, the more you realize how little you know. So it humbles you, but excites you by the possibility of learning more. It's one heck of a puzzle we got going on here. So like I mentioned, of all the people in the world, you're very likely to be the one who creates the AGI system that achieves human level intelligence and goes beyond it. So if you got a chance, and very well you could be the person that goes into the room with the system and have a conversation, maybe you only get to ask one question. If you do, what question would you ask her?
I would probably ask, what is the true nature of reality? I think that's the question. I don't know if I'd understand the answer, because maybe it would be 42 or something like that. But that's the question I would ask.
And then there'll be a deep sigh from the systems, like, all right, how do I explain to this human?
Exactly.
All right, I don't have time to explain. Maybe I'll draw you a picture. That it is, how do you even begin to answer that question?
Well, I think it would...
what would you think the answer could possibly look like?
I think it could start looking like more fundamental explanations of physics would be the beginning. More careful specification of that, walking us through by the hand as to what one would do to maybe prove those things out.
Maybe giving you glimpses of what things you totally missed in the physics of today.
Exactly.
Just here's glimpses of there's a much more elaborate world, or a much simpler world, or something.
Yes. A much deeper, maybe simpler explanation of things, right, than the standard model of physics, which we know doesn't work, but we still keep adding to. So, and that's how I think the beginning of an explanation would look. And it would start encompassing many of the mysteries that we have wondered about for thousands of years, like, consciousness, dreaming, life, and gravity, all of these things.
Yeah, giving us glimpses of explanations for those things. Yeah. Well, Damas, you're one of the special human beings in this giant puzzle of ours, and it's a huge honor that you would take a pause from the bigger puzzle to solve this small puzzle of a conversation with me today. It's truly an honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much.
I really enjoyed it. Thanks, Lex.
Thanks for listening to this conversation with Damas Hassabis. To support this podcast, please check out our sponsors in the description. And now, let me leave you with some words from Edsger Dijkstra. Computer science is no more about computers than astronomy is about telescopes. Thank you for listening, and hope to see you next time.